Welcome back to the Bolen Podcast, otherwise known as RBP, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, back again as always with your co-host, Chris Coulson. Christopher, another week, another Monday.
Week. It is. How you feeling? How you feeling? How's your weekend?
I'm feeling good, man. I had a good one. I got to go out and deliver water.
Very nice.
To people in our city who still don't have clean water to drink in Austin, Texas due to the historic freeze we incurred. So I went and did some work with Austin Mutual Aid, for whom we also raised $3,000 a couple weeks back, Austin Mutual Aid. And it just felt good to be a part of some positive momentum that really had nothing to do with me or my personal life, right? So just about helping other people. And we're doing the Year of the Volunteer here on the Ross Bolen Podcast. That's the theme we settled on for this year. We have a theme every year. We've done the Year of the Sock, the Year of the Robe. What the hell was last year?
Year of the Comeback?
Year of the Comeback. And now, the Year of the Volunteer. Just being a part of something that institutes positive change for people is very powerful. Do not let this year be like all the others. It is the Year of the Volunteer, and people are out there suffering. Do some good to alleviate that. And what you'll end up finding is that you're helping yourselves just as much as you're helping others, obviously. So, got to do some volunteering yesterday. And then, to an even more positive point for me personally, I suppose, this morning, I got to do yoga and go running. And then I had therapy at lunch. So get at me, dog. I am doing things.
Damn, you're dominating already.
Yeah, and on a related note, as you do your volunteering for the Year of the Volunteer, we want you to document and tag us in all your Instagram stories. Just tag at the Ross Bolen Podcast on Instagram. We will share those posts on our page and continue to inspire others to get involved in the Year of the Volunteer. Also, your pedicure pics. We want to see your feet. We are doing a self-care challenge throughout the month of March. $500 spa package on the line for the best content created by one of you. All you have to do is go get a pedicure and make some content while you're doing it, and same rules apply. Tag us on Instagram in your story. We will share it. That's it. That's all you have to do to enter. We're going to pick our favorite, and at the end of March, somebody's going to get a $500 spa package.
Look at that.
Look at that.
You know, a lot of people are asking, Ross, are you, when you're transporting so much water, and a lot of people have said you're a very efficient water transporter.
I am.
Are you
one of the most efficient?
Sure. Are you of the thought process that speed with one 24-pack of water is quicker than a little bit slower in 2 packs of water and a heavier load there?
These were 12 packs,
okay.
Really the only work you could do was stacking 2, 3 on top, max 3.
Sure.
Before it started to get uncomfortable. They were also prepared specifically for this purpose. So the way they were packaged was a little bit wonky. I'll just put it that way. I wasn't very confident that more than a 2 or a 3 stack was going to get very far. So I tried efficiency at the top.
Sure.
And then I moved into safety and productivity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As all of our volunteers out there are going to be getting after it here shortly, I'm sure they just wanted some wisdom from the man himself.
Absolutely. Of course. Let's do it. RBP 378 is brought to you by Liquid IV. You all probably know Liquid IV for their popular hydration drink mix. I've been drinking it and talking about it for years, ever since they first became a sponsor. Liquid IV, far and away the most important part of my hydration and energization game. But also now, they have immune support. Very important. In 2021. We're all out here trying to stay healthy, but their energy multiplier is awesome as well. If you're like me and when you have too much coffee, you end up with a big crash and anxiety and all that, Liquid IV's energy multiplier is awesome. It gives you a little extra boost without the intense crash. 1 stick is like drinking 2 cups of coffee. It's an all-natural alternative to processed energy drinks for a sustained energy boost throughout the day. All of us struggle with daily fatigue. 2020 was hell. 2021 has been tough. We need something, a pick-me-up. Liquid IV is there for you with their energization and their hydration multiplier and the immune support that you need to stay healthy. So go to liquidiv.com. Use that code ROSS at checkout. They're on a mission to change the world positively. They've donated over 6.7 million servings of their product globally. In response to COVID-19, over 3 million products have been donated and are being donated to hospitals, first responders, food banks, veterans, and active U.S. military. Liquid IV is great. They're available at Costco or 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code ROSS at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code ROSS at liquidiv.com. Start fueling your adventures today at liquidiv.com, promo code Ross. Now it's time for some announcements and shouts. Happy birthday to Dom Parker. If you want to watch episodes of our show, you can do so on YouTube. You just go to youtube.com and search the Ross Bolen Podcast. Guess what's going to pop up? I'll give you a hint. It's the Ross Bolen Podcast. Also, we do episodes every Monday and Wednesday each week on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. A third ad-free premium episode is available, though. One place and one place only, exclusively on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. For those of you who want to support the show with a minimum pledge of just $5 a month in exchange for another ad-free exclusive premium episode every single week. And now it's time for today's show and our first segment. I have waited many days, weeks even, for this moment. You could argue I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. Many of you have been clamoring for what has been known as JBones Big News, as teased for some time on Twitter by a man named @JaredBoreslow. Well, the time is nigh. The news must be heard. And here to share it with you is the third official full-time Bolen Media employee, the man some call JBone, but I call him brother, Jared Boreslow. Jared, how are you?
It's the Bone Zone! Ross, I'm here. It is effective immediately.
Yeah.
I am officially the third full-time member of the Bolen Media team, Ross.
Hello, Jared. Yes, you are.
Did you know that?
Many
you
people,
hired me.
I have, I'm aware. Many people have called this a dangerous and risky move. Did you know that?
Yeah, some people are saying it might plummet your stock, which is not publicly traded yet.
It's not. It's just an internalized thing. But I've been keeping watch on it, and it's soaring.
Is it?
In my brain.
Just like GameStop. They say JBone and GameStop, heavily correlated stocks.
Are you just calling it GameStock now instead of GameStop?
GameStonk. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, GameStonk.
I messed it up.
GameStonk.
Yeah, JBone's Big News absolutely taken Twitter by storm lately, especially today. I'm not going to lie to you. After I did 2 tweets, probably 3 weeks ago, going, JBone's Big News coming soon, I had a friend text me and go, JBone, I don't know much about marketing, but I feel like people are going to unfollow you. Like, this is... You're just like hyping up big news. You're probably not ever even going to have any big news.
The joke, of course, was you were tweeting, follow @JaredBoreslow on Twitter for all the big JBone news, but the only people who would see that would be people who follow you already.
Yes. But maybe a lot of people are saying if it starts getting retweeted, it could pay dividends because, then a lot of people might go, oh, I got to follow him now because I saw
big
the
JBone
retweet.
news. Got to get it on this big JBone news.
So, I don't want to rub it in that friend's face, but Brian, suck it. Because the news took Twitter by storm. It's going viral right now.
Brian, it's all over your face, the egg.
I saw some Randy Savage guy was out there tweeting about big JBone news.
Dude, a lot of people. Go check out my Twitter, @JaredBoreslow. It's the official JBone Twitter account. You can check out all the retweets and all the news around it. But Ross, you and I have both always known that we'd eventually work together full-time again, right?
Somewhere deep down in my darkest nightmares, I always knew, yes.
Like a twin flame situation.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
2 ships passing in the day,
Sure.
not in the night.
Not
it
in
was
the night.
obvious. We knew it was going to happen.
Let me ask you, have either of those ships been reconstructed in any way, other planks of wood added to them? Because then the argument of whether or not those ships are the ship they originally were could come up. I'm watching WandaVision, I'm sorry.
I feel like I'm the Titanic and you're the Lufthansa. Lusitania.
What the hell's the
Lufthansa is an
Lusitania?
airline.
What's Lusitania?
Why do you
Lusitania-
want to be those 2 ships?
Another
That's
famous
a
sunken
horrible,
ship?
horrible
The
analogy.
Lusitania was sunk by a
Yes.
German U-boat.
Correct.
Damn,
and the
dude.
Titanic was sunk by an iceberg.
Yeah.
I don't think either.
Iceberg! Dead ahead!
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm working with the Lusitania and the Titanic, I maybe want to look for some other employment options there.
That would be up
that's
to
a
you.
problem, not a me and Ross
Do
problem.
you not want to sink to the depths of the ocean?
So,
Am I being asked to go down with the ship?
That's your
Yeah.
ships.
I'm the violin player?
You got to bring your own
Honestly,
ship and sink it.
you're
Those are
the
the rules
band.
here at
I'm the
Bolen Media.
band.
Yeah.
As long as I'm the band, man.
you'd
As
rather
long-
get sunk by an iceberg than a U-boat.
That's-
right? I don't want the Germans to win. Just
Oh,
a
no,
general.
man. Yeah, that's true. Okay, fine. Iceberg over Germany, but
Bro,
iceberg, shitty ass way to go.
that's
out.
what I'm saying.
3,000 people freezing to death in the ocean as they go. Wait, why did this happen?
Yep.
Oh, because dude couldn't steer
couldn't
the
steer.
ship.
Couldn't
Yeah.
see an iceberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least the U-boat moves. Icebergs just stay there.
It's true.
Like, I mean,
It's
that's
true.
kind of on you, bro.
But you're here.
I'm here. So, for those of you who may not be aware, Ross and I worked together for a very long time. Actually, 2012 to 2019, Ross.
Was that the first? That was the year you started your internship,
Yeah,
2012?
I dug up an email that I sent to Ross from 2012. I sent it to Ross the other day.
At our former company where I started my career, I guess you technically did too, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
In online media, Jared was an intern first, and then he got hired full time, and then we worked together for several years and got to see just a bloodbath.
Yes.
Just a bloodbath. And one of the great things about you, one of the reasons I'm so excited to have you here and that everybody listening should be so excited is that you and I got to see a lot together and learn a lot together. And I don't, I'm not being a hater. I think these are facts at this point. We learned what not to do in a lot of ways. A lot of people who worked at our old company, we were all very inexperienced, including management, and we learned what not to do. And, man, it's important to remember those things.
Yep.
And that's definitely one of the reasons I'm so excited to work with you. But obviously before that, you and I have had a content relationship for many, many years. And I've kind of gotten to watch you grow from, like, where Chris is now, just starting, to, I guess...
Content machine, you can say
Yeah,
it.
just a full-blown content machine. Well, I mean, from an inexperienced young man who didn't really know what the fuck he was doing in the content world to, like, a fully fledged guy who I trust to run marketing and shit for me. And I mean, that's going to be a big focus of what Jared does here is get some marketing done. For those of you who didn't know, when Chris and I record an episode, it takes like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours roughly. If I record another episode after that for OCC, our other podcast, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, our TV and film show, that's another hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. Then I've got no energy left in my body and feel near death, and there's like marketing to be done. Those episodes have to be marketed. There's many other things to do. This company is in its infancy with a shit ton of potential, and we needed more people to help us, Chris and I, and to bring this thing to the next level. And Jared and I saw him tweeting, actually. The way this came to be was like, he was tweeting about how he was finally ready to get back into the content game.
Yeah, I was tired of being a non-content guy. After being a content guy for so long, you just crave it. Like,
It's addictive.
It wasn't inherently that you craved it either. I think the world kind of craved you in the
True.
content.
The
game.
universe needed you back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Solar flares.
Exactly.
all that.
Mercury, retrograde, all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it pulled you back in.
Mhm.
And then you and I started talking, and little by little, over the past like month and a half, I guess, it just became pretty obvious what we needed to do. It was kind of a no-brainer. This wasn't a very difficult decision for me to make. I don't think it was a very difficult decision for you to make either.
No.
Although you're sacrificing to be here, which means a lot to. Obviously, this is a small business. You're several years into your career. It's a startup, bro.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here. It's scary shit. And you need people you trust, and that are going to bust ass with you. And now I've got two of them. I'm very stoked. Jared, other words, other phrases,
Oh, I have a lot of phrases.
bits of knowledge, share with us.
So now here's the thing. A lot of people, when you're out of the content game and come back in, people are like, where the hell did you go?
Sure.
Because a lot of people, when you get into the content game, you either stay in it forever
Mhm.
and people always know what you've been up to, or you get out of it and you never come back in and you're never heard from again, much like people on the Titanic. And
Sure.
so for those of you who may have been wondering what the hell I've been up to for the last 2 years, ever since Ross and I parted ways, I was actually on one long ayahuasca trip in the Peruvian Atacama Desert writing a novel that after I came back to reality, I realized it was just the entire screenplay to B movie.
Mm.
I love
Completely
that movie,
understandable.
though.
Yeah, dude, did you know that against all the laws of nature, bees shouldn't be able to fly?
I have heard
Their
that.
little tiny wings.
And their little fat bodies. I have heard that. It's funny, when I did that, when I went after
yeah.
our former company imploded and I wandered into the jungle and did ayahuasca for several months, I wrote Kung Fu Panda 2.
Really?
Yeah. But it already existed. I happened to write the
Yeah.
the exact
Dude,
sequel.
That's exactly what I did.
That's fucked up.
Did DreamWorks like put in deep plants in your brain? Are you
I
guys
think-
like low key?
DreamWorks
Sleeper
may be
cells?
involved with like the ayahuasca industry.
Sure.
They probably have some sort
I
of
figured
stake.
I figured you were involved in some sort of Avatar Aang situation where you were frozen in an iceberg like people in the Titanic, and you were just waiting to be found by Katara and Sokka over
Han
here.
Solo and Carbonite situation.
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
dead ahead.
That's exactly
So-
what I thought.
But
And then-
actually,
now you're back.
all ayahuasca aside, I had an interesting past couple of years. I worked full-time at a startup here in Austin for 9 months that those of you who cook a lot might have heard of the company. It's called Made In Cookware. Had an incredible experience there helping grow it from not the ground floor. I was the 13th employee, so I guess it's from the first floor.
You're still on the ground floor at that point, I think.
You think so?
You're working on the ground floor,
Yeah.
yeah. Now
so-
you're now you're building from the ground
I'm in the
floor.
basement.
Now we're in the basement.
Yeah.
Now we're working on
We're building the
foundations.
foundation.
We're digging up from under the earth that was 2019, 2020
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
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 And so I learned a ton about startups, growth, prioritization, marketing while I was there. Great experience.
NFTs.
NFTs.
A
For
lot of
sure.
information
So
about
many
NFTs.
NFTs,
Also pots and pans.
After Maiden, I lived the consultant life, which is super interesting. I did freelance SEO and copywriting for a few companies, including Bolen Media, doing marketing for them.
As many of you are aware.
Um,
That wasn't a joke. We kept saying it, and people were like,
I
"The fuck?"
actually- yeah,
no,
actually
you
was
really
a
were a
marketing
Bolen
consultant.
Media consultant for the last 2 months, since what? February?
January
January and
12th-ish,
February.
yeah.
Yeah.
And And now I'm here. And so over the past 2 years, I've learned a lot of strategies that I think will be extremely useful as I work with these two dudes here to build Bolen Media into the big, broad-reaching operation that everybody in this room and many of you listening that know it will be. And so I'm super excited. And if you came here for JBones Big News, this might be the first ever episode of the Ross Bolen podcast that you've literally ever listened to. So stick around for the rest of the episode, and if you like what you hear, feel free to stick around. Give us a little subscription.
Yeah, if you don't, just keep in mind, I'm going to take Jared out back and beat him relentlessly. That's the new game plan here. Whenever we have a bad day, we're just going to treat Jared like a piñata.
Yep.
I thought it was a punching bag.
Both.
And
It's
I'm going
gonna
to tell you right
depend
now,
on the
Ross,
mood.
you're not going to like what comes out of me.
I know.
Do we get to use the horse crop again?
It's going to be
Yeah,
disgusting.
it's gonna be bad. Actually,
That's an important thing to note. Jared, for those of you who are very familiar with me, if you're not, we did a Westworld
Yes.
podcast together that Jared actually hosted and I served as a co-host on. Jared was running the show, and it was called Freeze All Motor Functions, FAMP. And we will obviously continue that if and when Westworld returns. But that was one of the first places Jared and I really got our feet wet doing audio together, audio content together on a more substantial level. We had done some other silly ass shit like a sports podcast at our old company that was mostly a joke, a video game podcast that many people will still not let go of how good it was.
it was very funny.
Yeah, but now you're here, and just to kind of give people an idea of like what we want to do as a company. Bolen Media is the company for those of you who are just RBP fans. Maybe you had no idea this was even a company. Yeah, I'm self-employed. These gentlemen are now working with me, and we're looking to build something special. The company as a whole has the motto of entertain and inspire. I don't want to do anything that's entertaining without inspiration behind it and a message and that is meaningful. We want everything we do to carry entertainment and inspiration. And this show, the Ross Bolen podcast, mixing mental health discussion and very important, difficult to tackle subjects with a lot of humor and silliness and animal talk and old historic pirate crap that we get into. That's the show. That's what I want it to be, and that's how we're going to grow from here. Everything we do needs to be impactful, and everyone I work with needs to understand that. And these two men in this room do now, and I'm excited to see what we can do together to help people, because in large part, that's what the show is all about, making sure that everybody knows you are not alone, as we say at the end of every single episode, and, of course, that the podmen get paid, and to respect Mr. Park, all those things.
Strengthen on.
All the other things, strengthen on it.
Sounds...
But the real point is that we want this to be a place where you can come every single Monday, every single Wednesday, enjoy yourself, let go of some of the hard shit that life has to offer every single day, but then also not to run away from it and to try to take steps to become a better, more productive, strong human being every single week of your life. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what Chris is trying to do. That's what Jared is trying to do, and we want all of you on board with us.
Yeah.
So
that's what I signed up for, right? Like you said, going to work for a startup when you're a little bit later in your career, you're giving up you're sacrificing, some
security, money,
in order to do
food. In your case, we're not feeding you.
No, not at all.
No.
I have a LaCroix here though.
No, we put
Love
Jared on a
LaCroix.
strict diet starting this morning. He
Yeah.
is to eat like a runway supermodel
Just caffeine and cocaine.
right before the Victoria's Secret show. Yeah.
So one big reason why I'm willing to take that leap, aside from loving working with Ross, having worked with him for so long, is
our deep sexual love for each other. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, besides that,
It's that I really believe in what Ross is doing, and I've seen. He talks about how much he's seen me grow, but I've seen Ross's company grow literally from not existing to where it is now.
Yeah.
And the reason why he's been able to keep growing and just keep the whole company running and afloat is just that he's really trying to build this community of inspiration, through entertainment. And I think a lot of you think about how many Instagram accounts you follow that are like,
Dude,
these
think
are
about
just memes to entertain, and it's just strictly entertainment. Total, Father John Misty, total entertainment forever. That's like what a
No,
lot
but you
of
do,
the
and
internet
you won't
is these
shut up
days.
about him.
I love Father John Misty.
He
I
keeps
have
sending
no
us
idea who
Father
he is.
John Misty songs that neither Chris or I know who this gentleman even is. I assume he makes music, and the lyrics are incredible. But I'm
Yeah.
just like, Jared, I don't know who the fuck this is.
Well, either way,
Send me the goddamn song on Spotify so I can play it.
I'm
Go
just gonna
ahead.
send you the lyrics, but I'm not gonna give him credit because then you're gonna be like, "Damn, Jared's so deep, man."
That's already how I felt.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, there's so many places to just get entertainment, and there's not enough that actually are gonna help you better in your daily life.
We want substance, man.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where I started my career. I wrote a book, a New York Times best-selling novel, called Total Frat Move. All right, the first several years of my career were about one thing and one thing only, and that was entertainment, making people laugh, getting clicks, and fucking driving traffic and getting follows. There was no substance to it. There was nothing of substance to the gig.
Ross texted me in 2013 once, and it said, I'm not kidding. This is a legit text he sent me in 2013. It said, the only thing that gets me hard anymore is internet traffic.
Yeah, it was a totally different ball game, and when we were coming out of that, I was like, I want more.
Yeah.
I want something that matters, something that is going to change people for the better and give them a chance. And especially as a kid, when I was going through my shit with panic disorder and really substance abuse was the other big one, and kind of spiraled out of control for several years. And then again, at the end, and really starting in I'd say 2016 to 2019 was another very long spiral, not necessarily on my part, but just in general for my life. All this crazy shit happened, and I just remember I felt so alone. And even surrounded by friends and family and having phenomenal people in my life, I still felt alone. And that was when it hit me, that I was one of the lucky ones, that's not the way it is for most people. And I wanted this show to be something that could fill that hole. And I know it is, because I get direct messages and emails and tweets from y'all every single day telling me. So if you're here for the first time and Jared's dumbass brought you,
hello. Hi.
Thank you for being here. I could not be more excited to have Jared joining Chris and I. The amount of stuff we have to do is far too great of a burden for two people to carry. So now we have a third. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and reveal our full-on plans for the rest of the year, but this will not be the last person we add by any means. We're looking to take this thing to the next level this year. I've said it many times. 2020 was a fucking disaster. Not even, I'm talking just on a personal front, not even on the worldly front. You can add that on top. Just on the fucking personal front, it was a fucking disaster. Worst case scenario, minus I don't know, being attacked by a flock of seagulls that take my eyes and ears from me as I was starting the company.
You 2020 was so bad that you literally spent 10% of it streaming online to escape it.
Just to escape the shittiness and to connect with people. I needed somewhere to put my fucking brain that wasn't the real world.
Yeah, that's not a joke. And Ross, I'd calculated the numbers.
Yes.
Ross spent 10% of the calendar year 2020 live on Twitch.
Okay, and yes, 10%, but if you take out sleeping time, if you take out 8 hours a day, he probably spent, 30% of his own time of 2020.
And then
I think we made $7,000.
And then that was worst case scenario because you still didn't get partner.
But those fuckers, man. I finally started tweeting at him. I was dude. I am so done with this. I'm going to try to get banned from the platform because it isn't doing anything for us. There is no anyway. Sorry,
they
I'm not
took our
go
music.
I don't want to go on a Twitch rant.
I
don't want to go on a Twitch rant. But fuck Twitch.
Yes.
Hashtag fuck Twitch.
I've been thinking about this for the last 30 minutes, and I have to say it. You two, JBone and Ross, you guys are kind of like Katniss and Peeta. I just have to put it out there.
Which one is Katniss?
Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games?
No, I know. Which one of us is Katniss?
You're Katniss.
Okay.
You rose up. You both saw the bloodbath. You didn't ask to be put at the top, but the message kind of came on to you, almost divine. You had a role to play
I did
in this
volunteer
world.
as tribute. Everybody knows that.
Exactly. And now, you're leading the revolution, basically. And
Jared is my little lover who keeps almost dying.
Yep.
And then I have to save him.
And you have to bring him back. The Hunger Games was your bloodbath. That was your Grand X.
Those movies were dope. I liked the Hunger Games,
I haven't
man.
seen them.
What?
Oh, no, I did see the Hunger Games because I saw Lady Gaga's outfit at the inauguration.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
I have a question before we move into the next segment. Have you covered everything you would like to in JBone's big announcement, or do you have more? Because I have another thing to say, but I don't want to distract from the importance of this segment.
Yeah, pretty much. The last thing I wanted to say is that this morning I was so excited that I just texted Ross 3 bone emojis as a little, it's my first day, let's go, yay, text.
Mm-hmm.
And literally 5 seconds after I sent that text, my dog, possibly having seen the bones on my phone screen and wanting to chew on them, jumped on me and cut my ear open with her claw. You can't see it because I've covered it up. Essentially,
Like Van Gogh?
Yeah, a little. No, just a little bit, like a little cut. Now, essentially, she
Because
pierced.
you didn't disclose this, I'm just saying we only hire motherfuckers with 2 ears.
I have 2 ears, I swear.
I'm just kidding. We absolutely don't care how many ears you have as long as you can do your job.
So essentially, she pierced my cartilage, which I guess saved me like $30 since now I don't have to go wait in line at Claire's.
Yeah.
I should also note, listen, I failed to put the whole face piercing clause in his contract and Chris's
Oh,
contract.
and he ruined it.
You can see what happened.
Mike, zoom in on this. If
We
you're watching on
can't
YouTube.
look. We can't afford any more. We only get one guy with a facial piercing allowed on this show. We've got our Gen Z representation. We're good.
I actually did it for the gang as Gen Z consultant. I didn't feel I was doing my job to my fullest abilities without the face piercing. I'm just going to be honest.
I feel like all the young listeners of our show, frankly, fuck them kids. Y'all are good. The old listeners have to be psyched though, because you're an older fuck, and you will have old fuck problems like me.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm for people who don't know, I'm like directly in the middle of Chris and Ross.
it's beautiful.
bridge the
Yeah,
gap.
it's
Literally
a really
right in the
nice, really nice balance we have here
Yeah.
in the age ranges.
But anyways, with my ear, I'm potting through it. This is like my Jordan flu game or
Sure.
my Lamar Jackson poo game. If you guys remember that. Except
course.
I'm not hungover like Jordan actually was. I just have a torn ear, and I'm also bloated because last night I ate the most Shake Shack you've ever seen in your entire life.
You went into week 1, day 1 on the job, full of Shake Shack.
Yeah, I got a shake. I got a double smoke shack, bacon cheese fries, and I also got some chicken shack nuggets to eat later.
Okay, see, this is why we hired Jared, because as I said, I went from volunteering to yoga to running to therapy to prepare for this moment. He went to Shake Shack.
I mean, I went last night. I had a couple McConaughey's and a chimichanga.
What's a McConaughey?
McConaughey's? It's Matthew McConaughey's hazy IPA. Had a couple of those.
McConaughey has a hazy IPA
It's called McConaughey's.
Is
It's
it for
dope.
real McConaughey's?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's a he probably had a say in it. I'm sure.
Yeah.
oh,
No,
yeah,
like,
okay, but
It's
yeah,
an
yeah.
Austin-based brewing company that like he had a say in like
He's made a
creating his
deal
own
with,
flavor.
or he's doing business. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's
Pretty good.
fucking genius. I've
Yeah,
never heard of
right?
it, and that's an incredible brand.
I
Had
also
some of
had
those,
he has a
chimichanga.
light beer. It's a all light. Not really. I made that up.
That's fantastic though. and
Copyright,
it needs to
trademark.
be-
They're
yeah.
not allowed to use that
Nope,
without paying
nope,
us.
Nope,
Then
nope,
they
nope.
can't.
Nope, we need to post that
That was
immediately.
good,
I was
yeah.
just gonna say after my night last night in Ross or at JBone's night last night.
I'll tell you about mine in a minute.
The toilet at Bolen Media HQ has had quite the morning.
Oh, fuck. Can't wait
Yeah.
to get over there after we're done recording and just inhale.
You don't have to do that. Yeah.
You know what I did last night, guys?
What?
I started my path down the Avengers franchise, finally.
Ooh.
Y'all know we do our TV and film podcast, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. Well, we watched WandaVision, and it was incredibly dope. And I've only seen 3 Marvel movies. Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and Doctor Strange. And for, years, I've heard all these Marvel nerds ranting about how phenomenal the series is. And I kept looking at the list. I was like, it's like 36 movies here, bro. I'm late to the party. It's over. I'm not invited in. Well, now I can't help myself. The WandaVision thing hooked me. Hook, line, and sinker, if you will. I had to watch the first one. I'm doing it chronologically, not by release date, by chronological order of events in the series.
In the
So I
MCU.
started with Captain America in World War II, and it was solid, man. I was really impressed by the movie all around. Everything I've watched from them so far, I'm like, that was really fucking good. I don't know why I never got fully sucked in, but it's finally happening. I'm a little scared just because the time commitment is fucking bonkers. I feel like it's going to be next year by the time I'm caught up, and there'll be already 6 more movies out by that time, and probably another miniseries. But man, these Hydra guys seem like a problem. That's all I've got so far. Also, the Captain America thing where they were like, look at Captain America. He was basically JFK, like small, feeble, sickly. And then they were like, and now how do we make him Captain America? Well, let's have a cool Russian scientist, put him in a big metal box, and he'll pop out jacked. Did they just pump him full of steroids? Do we ever get like a fucking explanation about what the hell was going on in there? Like,
It was just a massive shake weight. The machine.
it just for 10 minutes, and then he popped out just fully twerked.
Yep.
Huge.
Exactly.
I don't know what you're
Absolutely
talking
huge.
about because I don't know anything about Marvel, but it sounds hot.
Do you really not know anything? It is hot when the thing
is
opens
kinda
up, and
hot.
you're like,
I
that
mean-
was the fastest workout I've ever seen.
That's America's ass coming
Yeah.
out of that container.
Yeah. You've never seen any of the Marvel stuff?
No, I've seen Iron Man 1 or 2,
Sure.
maybe.
Okay. Well,
I think
anyway.
you'll like, out of all of them, so there's like phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 right now.
Yeah.
I think you'll like the phase 2 movies the most. Phase 1 is a lot of setup, and they're kind of getting their groove a little bit.
That's what I've been told. Yeah.
Well-
Phase 2, like they really start to kind of have fun with the roles and get into it, and that's when it gets really entertaining.
I actually, it's hard for me to watch movies these days because, as I may have mentioned on the show before. Oh, come on. Well,
Go ahead.
I appeared in the hit 2011 movie Dolphin Tale as an extra. A lot of people forget that.
It's not where I thought you were going with this, but
Oh,
I
I thought
had
you were going-
also forgotten about that, and it probably should have been one of the reasons we hired you.
Yeah, well, honestly, like, I should have used that as leverage to get maybe like $100K more a year.
Do you put that on your resume?
Yes.
Serious question.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
serious question.
If
Do you
you
put
wa-
that on your
okay,
resume?
I just
Fuck! I should have
so-
had you send a resume just for fun.
Dang. Yeah, you should have.
That was a mistake.
Here's what happened. I distinctly remember. I shouldn't say somehow. I'm so talented in my extra scene that literally
I thought that was the end of it.
I'm in
so
the
talented.
trailer. I'm in the trailer of Dolphin Tale, the first one, not the second one.
Okay,
The second
that's-
one, they didn't ask me back. It was already a failing franchise at that point.
They
You-
have.
You
There's
wouldn't
a
have.
second
You wouldn't
Dolphin
have wanted in for the sequel. Frankly, they weren't worthy of you at that point.
So I'm in the trailer for Dolphin Tale. So freshman year of college, I'm in the den, okay? And the
Is that
TV
a-
is on. The den of like my dorm floor, sorry.
Oh, I didn't know if the den
that
was
that
the
was generic.
food place or something.
I'm at the den of our dorm floor where everybody hangs out, and the Dolphin Tale commercial comes on, right? And I run over to the TV. I'm like, guys, wait. I had known these people for a week.
Sure.
I'm like, guys, wait. And I'm like, hold on. I'm on screen for 1.5 seconds in the trailer, and I had to go, okay, right here, and pointed to it. And by the time most people saw it, it was already gone.
Or they were like, oh wait, what? And you just looked like
Yeah.
a total buffoon.
Yeah, and so,
Did you get super popular after that?
well, that set me back a few weeks, but luckily I rebounded.
You recovered
Yeah.
eventually.
was
Brought
tough.
donuts or something to the
But
class.
yeah, if you wanna see my scene from Dolphin Tale, DM me on Twitter at Jared Borslow. It's the official JBone Twitter account, and I will send you a link.
Why would anyone
Do you remember
that?
the timestamp? I have it pulled up right now.
I mean, why?
I'm currently
Why in the sweet name of God would anyone DM you to see a 1.2 second appearance in the
Ross,
trailer for Dolphin
If
Tales?
50 people DM me asking to see my performance in the Dolphin Tale trailer, what will you do? If 50
Well,
people
now
DM me.
I was gonna say like, now I can't because if no matter what it is, if I make it something good, they're gonna do it.
Then do it. You don't want me to succeed? I'm your new employee.
If 50 people DM you on Twitter, seriously, if 50 people do, I will let you hit me with the riding crop on camera and see if I get COVID.
Deal.
Okay.
Deal.
Deal.
People probably don't know that story, but they can find it out if it happens.
Well, anyway,
He just told the
Jared,
story.
Jared is here.
Yes.
Which is the main point of our first segment of the day. Now it is time to move on to our next segment, Monday Mental Health Message. And every Monday, we do a Monday Mental Health Message to get our week off on the right foot. This week, obviously a no-brainer to let Jared dive headfirst into the show and the community and let him lead today's Monday Mental Health Message. So, Mr. Borslow, the floor is yours. Teach us about our minds.
So one part of joining Bolen Media that both excites and terrifies me is the mental health focus, because I think
Yeah,
Bolen
bitch.
Media's
Sorry.
I am a bitch. Because I think Bolen Media's mental health advocacy work is extremely important, but personally, and Ross knows this better than anybody, I often struggle with being vulnerable about my own mental health struggles.
Sure. It's not a
So-
thing that most people
Yeah.
are well versed in, though.
Yeah.
It's a challenging thing to open up about your own circumstances, especially as we've talked about on this show many times. American men are basically told from a very young age that is wrong, and it makes it all the more difficult. And that's starting to get better, but
Yeah.
you get it.
And so that's definitely something that I'm going to be working on, including right now as I lead today's Monday Mental Health Message.
Do it.
Here's my message. Make fear your bitch. Thoughts on the title?
I've tried this before.
I'm interested to see the strategies here.
I had
like
a
a-
fear of hiring you, and then and then I just did it, and the fear is still there. But
Is it your bitch though?
what are you applying? What are you applying that concept to in your case?
Okay, so this may come as a surprise to some of you given my career as a podcaster and my burgeoning career as a Twitch streamer, twitch.tv/SirJBone. But I have a fear of public speaking that has frequently negatively impacted my life and self-image. And at one point had a massive hold on me.
You're aware that there are tens of thousands of people listening right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am. It sounds very counterintuitive. It almost makes no sense, but it's more so, I would say it's more so the live aspect, but I also stream with you live on Twitch every single week, very numerous times a week.
Yeah.
So it's better now than it has been in the past, right? I still get a lot of anxiety about it, but
I mean, frankly, I do sometimes, depending on the day.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, especially to do as a job.
yeah, it really is. And so, fear of public speaking, also called glossophobia. I didn't know that.
Didn't know that either.
It's very common, as we've said.
I totally
Extremely
knew
common.
that. Totally knew that.
And I've always known it was common, so I just figured that I was having a normal response. In high school or college, I get extremely anxious and have these like intense, visceral responses, such as like deep breathing, dissociation, and heart palpitations before things like class presentations or like icebreakers. It'd be like, everybody go around the room.
Oh, bro, I
say
used
your
to
name.
lose my shit before those. I was
Really?
like, fuck.
You have to hope you're the first one to go, so you don't have time to freak out about it.
Oh, you know what this is? I think it's like a or at least for me, it was like a self-confidence thing.
Yes.
A lot of it was tied to like my comfort level with me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
100%.
absolutely.
So, something I would always use to help myself with was the knowledge that once I got up there or once it was my turn, I'd be so focused on like what I was saying that all the fear would go away.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like that for a long time until near the end of my junior year of college, Ross and Chris, came the botch.
And everyone listening, y'all are allowed to listen to.
Oh, people listening? Oh shit. No I'm kidding. The botch. Okay.
Okay.
So, I had the previous semester. This is I think the second semester of my junior year. The previous semester, I'd actually been part of a class presentation where we won first place, and my TA for a class the following semester was the guy who had given me the first place.
Okay.
And so I had this class, second semester junior year. It was a 100+ person class, and we had to give a presentation. And the TA's like, "I've seen this guy speak before. He did fine. They won that presentation. Jared, go give this speech in front of the 100-person class. Like, you and one other person from class, just go give the speech." And I was like, yeah, I could do that. Like, I'm in a pretty good place, public speaking-wise. I just won this presentation. I've, like, had some good speeches in front of my fraternity.
You were feeling hot. You were feeling it.
I had gotten a leadership position on campus that I had to do public speaking for. So I was like, you know what? I feel pretty good. I felt pretty in a good place about this fear that I'd always had.
You just started in Dolphin Tale.
I just started in Dolphin Tale,
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
Life was on fire.
You
Yeah.
were on fire.
So, I was like, yeah, fine. Wrote down a few points on this note card. Was kind of like half winging it. Was like way too confident given how I'd always had this struggle. I just was like, when you're in college, you're cockier than you should be.
Oh, God,
Absolutely.
This was bad. So, at this point in the story, the details are a little fuzzy since I've repressed most of the memories here.
yeah. That'll happen.
Yeah. I think it was me and one other classmate. I don't even remember who I was partnering with for this.
It probably
speech.
was, but you dissociated so hard that the other person might as well have not been there.
Yes. And literally could not have gone worse. Have you ever seen a
Did you
train wreck?
shit your pants?
I didn't shit my pants.
Well, that could have gone worse then.
Okay,
'cause
true. Barring
As a
some-
guy who almost shits his pants fairly often,
How often do you almost shit your pants?
look, man, I spent a lot of time sitting in chairs that I'm not allowed to get up from because things are recording. And sometimes you got to poop and you got to learn, and sometimes you just risk it, for the biscuit.
Would you say you spend 75% of your day about to poop?
Some days. Yes, that's accurate.
That other 25% sounds nice though.
That
It
sounds
is.
nice.
It's a nice 25%.
But back to the
ratio.
stage?
Back to Jared.
So I'm standing up there. I got bullet points written on my card. I think my teammate, partner, whatever, handed it over to me, and I distinctly remember, like, first sentence out, I think I stuttered, and I go, "Oh, I'm off to a bad start." I looked down at my note card to start off my presentation. Literally, the whole time I'm looking at the note card, I'm just staring at it, thinking, "Oh my God, you're botching this. You're botching this. Can't read
Yeah.
anything there." Literally, at a certain point, the negative thoughts consume me and just couldn't be rebounded from. And I've never in my life been more embarrassed. I'm pretty sure I was actually spouting literal gibberish. Like, flurgy der blue, blob, do blue, blab.
Billy Madison style, just like.
Sky, drop it a boop.
And this is when, like 2013
This
or
is in
something like that?
2014 in front of about 100 of my classmates.
The part of it that always used to get me too, and I didn't have this as like, I wouldn't say as severely as you did, and frankly, I don't even think I was ever anxious in my whole fucking life till I was like probably 20. I would get up there though, and I would. The thing that would get me is my hands shake a lot.
Yeah.
I have like little tremors or whatever. I don't fucking know.
Well, it's never mind.
Don't. I don't know what you were gonna do, but just don't. But so I'd be holding the paper, and that would always be the first thing that caught my attention was that the paper was shaking. And I was like, oh, fuck, everyone can see this.
Yes.
And then it was all over. Like, it didn't matter what happened. I was so in my own head.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's like, it's such a confidence thing. And it's funny, the first time you do a podcast, it's just you and the people in the room. But because you can't see the audience like you can in a normal public speaking situation. It's a different kind of that, but that shit still hits you.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like, oh, God, this is being recorded. Anything I say is forever. And
so
that shit gets at you.
It really is about your own. It's like how you're perceiving yourself in the moment takes you out of the moment. And so I think the reason this incident is something that really impacted me mentally and is like, I look back on it as like a very big, mental health moment for me.
A shift for you, a big shift.
It's that it was really destroying my own self-image because I knew I was capable of giving that presentation and I was capable of public speaking. But now with everyone watching, they absolutely do not think that about me.
Sure.
So I have this thought about myself that 100 people go, that guy sucks. That guy stinks at that.
No,
I don't, but you think I do, and I totally get that.
Everybody tells you this when you're a kid. Everyone, your teachers, your parents, your mentors, your friends. You shouldn't give a shit about what anybody else thinks. Fuck all them kids. You don't care what they think. All those people that are making fun of you, they're not your friends. Those are terrible people. Ignore them. Nobody cares. Blah blah blah. Man, it's one of those lessons of life that like you don't learn it until you learn it. And I had that issue too, man. That was definitely a thing. I cared literally until probably 4 years ago. No, let's say when I quit drinking, in fairness. I cared so much about what other people thought about me. I cared so much about my image, about how popular I was or how cool I looked or how, confident I sounded in what other people thought of what I was doing. And then at some point, it like snapped off. My penis did. No, at some point it snapped off and I was like, why? A big part of it, honestly, was when I got divorced. And when my penis popped off.
Losing a penis will do that.
No, but when I got divorced, it was like, it was this moment where I was like, all this bullshit I've been telling myself about, like, what if people think this? It just couldn't have been more clear that that was for nothing. That there was no positive at all to me sitting there and trying to care what anybody else thought about me. And that's when my big fear of, like, not public speaking necessarily, but performing more so for me faded some.
So I wish I had been that. I wish I had that knowledge.
Wish you'd gotten a divorce and your penis snapped off?
I wish I had that level of knowledge right after this presentation. However, what this presentation did was set me off on a terrible spiral that lasted for years, Ross. So what pretty much what happened was it made me, even though I was confident, I knew that I could do it, it made me truly doubt that I could public speak.
Sure.
And so that incident, for years, I would do things that I would avoid public speaking at all costs. So at one point my senior year, so this is like maybe the semester or two after this happened, I literally transferred out of a class solely because I saw during syllabus week that it culminated in a 20-minute solo presentation, and I said, fuck that, I'm out. Only reason I transferred.
I guarantee you someone listening has done that. I guarantee you somebody listening has gotten to a first day of a class, gotten the syllabus, seen this public speaking project, and gone, nope, and just chunk deuce.
Dude, I couldn't do it, and I'm not going to tell anybody, Jared, why are you transferring? This other class sounds more interesting to me.
I'm scared.
And so at one point, another one a few years ago, this is after I was already a professional like person in media, like, already in the public eye kind of. So I don't even know if you know this story, Ross.
I don't think I do. I have no idea where it's going.
At one point a few years ago, and I don't think Ross knows this, Chili's reached out to me about doing a PR campaign for them.
I'm vaguely familiar with the situation. There was a long-running bit where Jared was a huge fan of Chili's, and it somehow culminated in actual business, which I will never understand. Go ahead.
Was it a bit? Because I'm actually a huge fan of Chili's.
No, I love Chili's.
Okay,
just
want to make sure. Just want to make sure.
But I went to Valentine's Day at Chili's like 3 years ago.
It's fucking delicious.
It is.
Okay.
Smokehouse combo.
Yep.
Honey chipotle chicken crispers, baby back ribs, double fries. Keep the toast.
Where's the bloomin' onion?
They have like three.
It's
that's
not the
Outback,
bloomin'
Ross.
onion, stupid ass.
Unbelievable.
On,
what is the one for Chili's? What do they have as their special
Southwest
thing?
egg rolls.
They got the onion petals.
Southwest egg rolls.
Southwest egg rolls. Well, you got to get the triple dipper.
Well, of course.
Anyways,
guys, I'm gonna throw up.
Back to Chili's.
Back to this. Chili's reached out to me about doing a PR campaign for them, and that's something. If you know me and you know I love Chili's and you know I love bits, that is there's not a lot of times in your content career that you get to have a perpetual bit. Like, forever, I get to be like, yeah, I had this Chili's bit that turned into me doing a PR campaign for Chili's. Like, that's something you always will have.
Because bits burn out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes something really special to be able to carry it a longer distance like that.
And that's something that would have carried.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. They told me, like, yeah, part of this PR campaign is you're going to have to do a live TV interview with 17 different local news affiliates. And I would just sit in a room and go, 3-minute interview about the birthday of the margarita. Break. 3-minute interview about the birthday margarita 17 times in a row. And I literally, like, I went, I will have the world's biggest panic attack if I have to do that. And I'm going to also say a cuss word or something on air and get canceled by the Sinclair Broadcasting Group or whoever the fuck runs local news
The
stations.
first radio interview I did, I said shit.
Did you?
Ever. The first
Was that
radio
the
interview I ever
CrossFit?
did.
That's the first radio interview I
I
remember
think,
you
yeah, it
doing.
was about the CrossFit column.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you?
But anyways.
did you catch yourself?
No.
No,
You
he-
just let it
No,
run?
no, I said it on the air, and I was like, oh, my bad, guys. And they were like, yeah, we know.
So,
Like, they were clearly going to catch
Yeah.
a fine in the mail.
so I specifically remember in this thing that should have been such an amazing opportunity for me that I would have forever, I remember self-sabotaging myself.
What did you do?
I intentionally was not that ecstatic and was like, why do you want me? Like I was like not acting that excited and was like, yeah, like if you want me to, like I could do it. I should have been like,
Just because you were scared of the opportunity?
because I was so scared of having to actually go and do that public speaking on live TV in front of people.
Oh,
I just
sad.
really wish you would have done it so we would have 17 3-minute videos of you talking about the birthday of the margarita.
Dude,
That's
you-
at least one
it's-
podcast episode we could have
Man.
put together there.
It sucks so bad because, like I said, these are things that like that right there would have been awesome, even just for my career too. Like,
Yeah,
and
dude.
it's just funny. It's cool.
That's
And
content.
I was letting my fear of public speaking really get to me, and I did that for years. And finally, I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing when I had this epiphany.
Yeah.
And I want to point out, like, a fear of public speaking is something you never can really
Fully-
fully get rid of.
I don't know if there's very few fears that I think people have, and even general anxiety
Yeah, if it's a-
symptoms that people have
yeah.
that you ever truly fully get over.
If
like
it's a
there's
root thing, yeah, that's
there's
just
certain
part
things. There's certain things that I've
Yeah.
learned to deal with better.
You manage,
But it's
them.
like,
you
yeah,
learn to
yeah.
manage them.
You learn how to, like we always talk about. I mean, you learn how to do all these things to do the best you can, but you're never
Exactly.
gonna fully cure it. But yeah, go ahead.
So I was at the IO Theater in Chicago. It's improv
Sure.
theater, and I saw this hilarious improv troupe that my brother was friends with. They're called Fudge. I don't know if they still perform there anymore, but they're hilarious.
Groups of people who do improv together are called troops.
Yes.
Just like the Boy Scouts.
And like military. Spelled
And
different.
the
Spelled
military,
different.
of
Spelled
course.
different.
Is that grooming?
Why did my mind go to Boy
I don't
Scouts?
think-
I was
I
in
don't
Boy
think
Scouts.
improv
I
is-
wasn't in the military. That's why. Just want to be clear.
Chris is insinuating that improv is that the United States is behind improv being called troops to groom.
And the boy, I was more
Improv
going
members
for Boy
in
Scouts.
Oh,
being
that is
in the
for sure what it
military.
is, man. Absolutely.
Can you imagine if everybody in the military was an improv person?
Or a Boy Scout.
Nobody's
or an
ever
improv
figured
Boy
it out.
Scout.
Nobody's ever figured it out that, like, yeah, basic training, they're in line. Nobody thinks to ask if anyone else there has been doing improv, but it turns out they've all been recruited from improv troops.
It's all a bit. They think
It's like in
that-
Ted Lasso where they told people to come to try out for the football team, and really they were recruiting them for the British Army.
I was going to say, if you spoil anything from Ted Lasso for me, I swear on my mother, dude. But that doesn't count as a spoiler.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
good.
not a spoiler.
I'm good. I still haven't gotten to watch it, though, and I heard it's phenomenal, and I can't wait one day.
It's
Go
good.
ahead.
It's good. And so, anyways, I was at the theater and I was watching this, and these guys were so funny. And part of improv that I loved, I grew up watching Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Okay.
Yeah.
I
We talked
love-
about this shit,
We
yeah.
just talked about it. I love improv, and watching them do it, and in them not being professionals, like they do it a lot, but they're not full time for a career. They're just doing it because they love it,
Yeah.
and they're having a great time doing it, and they're hilarious. And I looked at that, I was like, that looks so fun. Like that looks like something I would love to try out, would love to do. And immediately, while I'm sitting there, my brain goes, no, you don't want to do that because you do you really think you want to be
You
on
would freak
stage
out, right?
without a script in front of a crowd of people all staring at you, trying to look at you and going, make me laugh, Jester, make me laugh.
Tell
And
me
you
a
have to-
joke, clown.
And you have to come up with it off the top of your head. Dude, you can't even think when you're in front of people.
Make
Like,
me a
you-
balloon, funny man.
Like, maybe they laugh at me, but it was just because I'm going, blargy, flargy, hergy, blargy, dargy. And they're like, oh, what's going on? Is this a
Has he
performance?
Has he lost his mind? Does he need medication?
And at that point, I just realized, I went, how weird is it that I'm preventing myself from doing something that I truly think I would love to do for no reason other than I'm just scared of it?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of,
Oh, I can't wait to drop this fucking bomb on you. Go ahead, though.
I'm excited. So I said, fuck it, I'm doing improv. And I went and I actually hit up two friends, shouts to Jake Goldman and Boosh, and we did improv together. And so at the end of Improv 101, the first class, the intro class, It's 8 weeks long, and you have your showcase show at the end of it.
Okay.
And this is in front of you. Essentially, the theaters do it because like everybody has their friends and family come, so they fill up the entire house with friends and family.
Sure. Of course.
So of course I was there. There were my friends there. My family wasn't there for the first one, but my friend, my girlfriend was there, and maybe another friend was there.
I wonder if my parents were there. I bet they probably were.
But everybody else is a stranger, right? Like they're there to see their friend, but like I don't know these people.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So it was a packed house. Probably it was a small theater, probably like 50 people or something like that.
Okay, but still, when you're in a packed house, no matter the size,
Exactly.
all you see, like especially when you're on stage, if you've ever been on stage
Oh,
before, the
God,
lights and the way that they hit you,
Yep.
you only see the 50 people in front of you anyway. So a 50-person stadium versus a 10,000-person auditorium, it feels about the same when you're up there.
So I got up there and I was so anxious. I was like, it doesn't like you didn't.
Chris
face your-
performs in front of tens of thousands every weekend. If you didn't know.
Dude,
that.
Yeah, in Vegas.
Yeah.
I do a
He has
male stripper act.
he's got a Vegas thing at the Bellagio.
Oh, whoa. You said you wouldn't tell people where it was. That was in my contract.
Oh, sorry. He does the bongo drums on stage.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Wait,
go ahead.
what are the drums?
They're bongos.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were male ass cheeks.
Well, they're male ass cheek. Well, they're male ass cheek shaped bongos.
I'd pay good money to see that.
People do.
Continue.
People do. They do.
Because for me, the facing my fears wasn't taking an improv class, right? Like that's not inherently something scary. I'm just in a class with other people and whatever.
But the performing at your
the performing in front of people was the thing that was scary. So essentially, I had 2 months building up to this moment of like you're preparing yourself to learn improv tactics that you can use on stage when you're in front of people
for a live show.
For a live show,
Yeah.
but nothing prepares you for actually being in front of the people.
Right.
So all I'm thinking is like my framework going into it was, at the very least, even if I go out there and bomb it, at the very least I faced my fear
And you
of
did it.
being able to do it.
Yeah.
And I did it. And I got up there, and man, oh man, was I completely average. But that's all I cared about, right? Like
Just getting through it.
Getting it done. Yeah.
I got
Especially the first one, right?
I got a couple laughs, almost certainly pity laughs.
Sure.
Right. And
But I mean,
I don't
hey,
know, but
laugh's a
probably,
laugh.
but made it through. Didn't do anything like crazy. Didn't
Shit
do
yourself.
anything any like crazy, weird like freezing up. Any like totally.
The most awkward shit you could do,
Yeah.
you avoided.
I avoided that, and I felt extremely proud of myself for that. And before I could convince myself that I'd already faced my fears, I made sure to sign up for improv level 2. Because I knew that
You got to keep it rolling,
if
baby.
I didn't keep it rolling, I'd just be like, I did it. And then it's like, you don't face your fear. You faced one fear.
You also get hooked on that feeling of overcoming a fear too,
Exactly.
though. Like
That was-
that rush you get after you do that thing you
Oh
were
my
so
God.
scared to do, and you knew was a risk, and that you got through it, and you survived, and you did okay, even if average. Man, that's a fucking rush. Like
It
that's
felt-
the good stuff of
It
life.
feels so unbelievably good. Like, so if you have the same fear as me of public speaking, and I personally think improv is a great way of getting over that fear because it's just silly. Like,
I think improv is a great way if you have any sort of social
Mm-hmm.
anxiety on any capacity. Improv is excellent for that. Like when I was feeling very self-conscious, like end of 2019, right after my DUI and everything like that, beginning of 2020, I met this girl that, she grew up acting. Like she grew up acting in plays, and she wanted to
thespian.
a thespian, exactly. She eventually wanted to move to move out west and try her way with movies and TV shows, et cetera, et cetera. But at the time, I was going through a really self-conscious phase of my life where I really was confused about a lot of the things I was feeling, and a lot of my beliefs were changing and everything like that. And she would always have me do improv exercises with her to help her practice. And just kind of letting your mind just run with itself creatively and just spitting it out and just letting it go and throwing it at the wall, like with just, even if it's just a couple people, it's almost like
therapeutic.
therapy.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
it's
very
great because
therapeutic.
you can't freeze up. Because all you have to do is say anything, and
Exactly.
it's part of the act.
Bingo.
That's why improv is so amazing.
Yeah.
You want to know I guess I haven't had to do improv since I was in middle school, so it's been a really long time. But the thing that reminded me of how special that space is was what's the show? Barry on HBO.
Oh my God, yeah.
Barry on HBO has that they do it. Obviously, I'm not going to do spoilers here, but let's just say in season 1, Barry's in an improv
Well,
class.
it's,
and
it's an acting class, but I think they do some improv.
they
No, it's-
definitely do improv.
I thought it was an improv
You're right.
class.
It is an acting
It's
class,
acting.
I think, but they have improv sessions in the class or whatever, because he bombs like historically, and it was very, very funny. I wanted to give you a quote that my therapist has given me for about a year now. She keeps feeding me this, and it really has started to click for me. And I've said it somewhere recently. I can't remember if it was the podcast. You'll have to excuse me if it was. I talk into a lot of different microphones. It's from Marianne Williamson. She's an author and a self-help kind of guru
And
person.
presidential candidate.
Not that person.
What? It's the same one.
Marianne Williamson?
Yes.
She ran for president?
Yes.
No shit?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let you double check that while I read the
No,
quote.
she 100% ran for president.
It's a
She
quote-
was in the Democratic debates.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. It's a quote about fear. This is completely non-political. That's on Jared for bringing that up. I'm just kidding. I had no idea she ran for president.
Ross like, fuck you, Jared.
Marianne Williamson, here's her quote. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And you can take that out of the religious and political context. Thanks again, Jared.
You're welcome.
And just apply it to however you need to. Take out the word God, whatever it is that you're looking to do. You heathen, enjoy hell. But the quote is one of my favorites of all time. And again, being completely unfamiliar with Marianne Williamson, this one's written on my fridge on a note card. That like my you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, my psychiatrist gave me a note card with this quote written on it like 2 years ago. My therapist brought it up like 2 months ago. And that's when it finally started to click for me. And it's that concept of like, your fear in that space was totally self-absorbed. It's all about you, right? Once you can remove that and make it like you're doing a disservice not only to yourself, but everyone around you, and make it about other people and how you are literally not helping them and making it worse for them. And that really helped for me. Like, to frame it up against like, it is selfish for me to be afraid of doing my show, of growing this company, of hiring more people, of trying to lead by example. It's selfish for me to be scared of those things, because if I do those things, it helps more people. And my light unconsciously gives other people permission to do the same. And that's a really powerful idea to me, and one that and the whole point of this segment would be, we all have fears. We all have phobias, right? Addressing them is the only way. You cannot run from these things. They will consume you. And no, as Chris said at the top, there isn't necessarily a defeating of a fear or a phobia or a total removal, but you learn how to work with it and mold it and sort of use it to your advantage if you're lucky enough. And it really can become life-changing.
Absolutely.
So,
In summary,
yeah.
make fear your bitch.
There you go.
The name of the segment.
I mean, the great thing about having the fear, anxiety of something is it gives you the full spectrum of emotion on that, topic or feeling. You know what I mean? Like, if you're scared of something, you appreciate it so much more when you're dominating it, and you understand it when you're not succeeding at it. Do you get what I'm saying? And like, if you didn't have that, if you never had your fear of public speaking, right, you wouldn't understand like the full range of how public speaking can go and how great public speaking can be when done correctly.
Yeah, if you have to overcome something, it is even more of a learning experience. You get deeper layers of that thing.
Yeah,
at
and
the
more
end of the
understanding.
day, I think, for sure.
Also, I think we're probably about 40 minutes into the episode, and I believe I've located Jared in the Dolphin Tale trailer.
Oh, God. Do not say the time cue, because I need those DMs. DM me at Jared Borslow, the official JBone Twitter account.
Where all the big JBone news
All of it, including the big news.
can be found. That was our Monday mental health message. Jared, thank you very much for sharing with us. Holler at us on social media if you would like to further discuss the fears of public speaking, or Marianne Williamson and her non-political quote. Also non-religious. RBP 378 and this week's Monday mental health message are brought to you by Headspace. Wouldn't it be great if there was a pocket-sized guide that helped you sleep or focus or be better? There is. And if you have 10 minutes, Headspace can change your life. Headspace is your daily dose of mindfulness in the form of guided meditations in an easy-to-use app. Headspace is one of the only meditation apps advancing the field of mindfulness and meditation through clinically validated research. So whatever the situation, Headspace really can help you feel better. If you're overwhelmed, they have a 3-minute SOS meditation for you. If you need help falling asleep, they've got some wind down sessions that their members swear by. For parents, they even have morning meditations you can do with your kids on Headspace. Their approach to mindfulness reduces stress, can improve sleep, boost focus, increase your overall sense of well-being. Look, we don't all have the ability to go into a therapist's office or seek out our own therapy situation or afforded in some cases. And Headspace is really working on all of those different levels to make sure that as many people as possible have access to meditation and mindfulness practices that will effectively serve as a form of therapy. And that's what it's become for me. It's a phenomenal service that you can access anytime you need it, and it's backed by 25 published studies on its benefits, 600,000 five-star reviews, over 60 million downloads. Headspace makes it easy for you to build a life-changing meditation practice with mindfulness that works for you on your schedule, anytime, anywhere, and you deserve it. You deserve to feel happier.
Thank you.
Headspace is meditation made simple. Go to headspace.com/Ross. That's headspace.com/ROSS for a free 1-month trial with access to Headspace's full library of meditations for every situation. This is the best deal offered right now. Head to headspace.com/Ross today, and you're welcome, Jared. Next segment. The royal family is trash. All right, look, I've never had any qualms about like whether or not the royal family was some moral authority in the world or anything like that. I'm not British. I have British friends. I grew up with British friends. I have one of my best friends in the world is a British citizen that now has American citizenship and is a dual citizen. Good for him. But I've never understood the royal family. It never made sense to me that there would be a figurehead that doesn't actually have power anymore. Obviously, the royals used to have power, but they don't have very much power now. They're more like a social influencer than anything. Oh, like they're essentially the Kardashians of England and of London, and it turns out not the best people, perhaps. So last night, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle of the British royal family, or formerly of the British royal family, I guess I should say now,
And of the TV show Suits on USA Network, which used to be on same time slot as Burn Notice.
Sure,
Suits is a great show.
They did an interview with Oprah that the internet went ballistic about. Essentially revealing what life is like as a royal who decided to marry somebody who's not just like a purebred white woman or whatever the fuck they...
Well, you say purebred, inbred a lot of times with the royal family.
Often is the case. They need a nice inbred white woman for the royal family. And they didn't get that, and it was apparently something that they were quite upset about. The most disturbing part of this entire interview thing for me was Meghan telling Oprah that not only did they decline to make her baby Archie a prince or offer him the protection that would come with that title or security, they repeatedly expressed concerns about his skin color before he was born.
Yes.
Which means that not once did somebody approach either Harry or Meghan and say, "You guys got any idea how dark that baby's going to be yet?" Multiple times this was brought up to a pregnant woman carrying a baby about what color that baby's skin may or may not be. Essentially, the royals being concerned that he wouldn't be white enough. Not essentially. That was the fucking...
I'm not surprised by this.
No, it's not surprising, but it is so disturbing.
Yeah.
That they... And to not have the... Like, look, I know there are old racist people in the world. I get that. Eventually, they'll all be dead. For now, we have to deal with them. But the least they could fucking do is pretend. The least you could do is just to find... What the hell?
I mean, one thing that... I don't know a ton about the royal family. I have watched The Crown all the way through.
They didn't tell us about this part in The Crown.
Huh?
Yeah, they didn't tell us about this shit in The Crown.
No, they didn't. But they did. One thing that I did pull away from The Crown is just how fucking ignorant they are in their little bubble at the top. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, they
think about it.
legitimately do nothing, or did for a very long time, did absolutely nothing to connect with the common person.
The wealthiest people I know
at all
are the furthest removed from reality.
Exactly.
Usually, because they don't live under circumstances that the rest of the world do. How could they possibly understand? It's been too long since they were at the street level. How do you think that feels for a family that has been positioned in a literal palace as the royal family for generation after generation after generation after generation after generation? How disconnected do you think these people are? Which is the reason that eventually the English people decided, hey, maybe a monarchy isn't the move. Maybe a royal king and queen making decisions on behalf of the entire country is not the way to go, right? And then they end up with what?
They have a democracy.
Parliament, I believe it is called.
Oh, that's a cigarette.
Parliament lights is what they have there. So,
all light, all light.
But this shit was a burn, son. I mean, they burned the fucking royal family to the ground. Like,
Didn't she not say specifically who was like the
She
ringleader.
wouldn't give a
She
name.
wouldn't give names. Yeah. She wouldn't specifically say.
She wasn't
I
like,
just-
it was the queen.
I'm very curious as to the future of the royal family. Like, what happens next? What happens when will they continue it? Are there enough people that are still on the side of the? What are we gonna?
Well,
I'm gonna
remember,
call
they
them
also had
monarchists.
Homeboy get busted with Epstein
Oh,
Yep,
yeah,
that
Prince
too.
Andrew.
as of late, too, which is not like, they're not having a good
They're
moment.
taking a lot
here.
of L's.
Taking a lot of L's.
Shit, you could
Yeah.
put it that way.
I mean, these are the same people that had brothers working with the Nazis over World War II. Like the royal family has had the last 100 years haven't exactly been great for them.
Didn't Prince Harry? Is it Prince Harry is married to Meghan Markle? Didn't he dress up as a Nazi once? And that was like
That was
huge-
his older brother, I think,
Prince
that dressed
William?
up as the Nazi once.
William and Harry. Tom,
But
Tom,
it might
Dick,
have
and
been
Harry.
him. It
Tom,
might have
Dick,
been
and
him. Yeah, it wasn't a great one. I saw the headline at
It
some
was
point.
Harry.
It was Harry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not great.
Is Harry the one who's bald? Because that would be kind of ironic.
He is not.
Yet.
You're mixing them all together.
He's not yet.
I
To
think.
be fair, they kind of look all the
He
same.
might be
Yeah.
going bald now.
No.
Oh, he's going bald
Now,
now.
where does Xerxes fit into this family?
I don't fully understand. I don't fully
From
understand
300?
why they're
Yeah.
concerned about the color of the baby's skin when Prince Philip is literally purple and like turning slowly the color of a 2-year-old Bruce.
He looks like Grimace. at
He
this
does look
point.
like Grimace, actually, or
I
Reaper
saw
from
I
Overwatch.
saw so many people ripping that dude, ripping that dude for being off-white, I guess, whatever the fuck.
Well, you have to hope that he's like.
Mummified.
What
Purple
is he
looking?
just catching like a bunch of like flack here, and he's like actually is on their side?
hey, what the fuck did I have to do with this?
What?
Yeah, I don't know, but these people are terrible. Viacom
Yeah.
stock is up 12% today as we started recording as a partial result of the Oprah interview, which is hilarious and also great for me and my portfolio. This is
Well,
not financial advice.
it's
Hashtag not financial advice.
GameStop is up 41% today to almost $200. It already went. over-
41?
Yeah, it's at 194.50 right now. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
because
huge.
because of Ryan Cohen, of course,
Who?
as we all know. The guy from Chewy came in, saved the day.
You want to hear something really weird?
No idea who that is.
I was Googling this, right, to find some facts on the Oprah and the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle situation. The first BBC article I pulled up is in the Hawaiian language pidgin, Pidgin.
Yes.
And it's weird because, like, I shouldn't say weird, but it's odd for me because it's written in like English, but with this pidgin sort of inserted almost. Like here's
slang?
here's the headline: Oprah Winfrey, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle latest interview summary of Wetin de Royals reveal. WETIN space DI space Royals reveal.
Huh.
So like they say things like this: among the revelations, DI. Megan say she been get times when WEN she quote been no want to be alive anymore.
Sounds like Creole.
It's
Right?
It is. It says Hawaiian Pidgin is an English-based Creole language.
No shit.
Yep.
Well, the thing about it that's interesting is it's written like regular English with like those types of words
Yeah.
inserted, and it's like, yeah, this is kind of dope.
Well, that's why, like, if you've ever heard like a legit native Creole speaker that's lived in Louisiana like their entire lives, and their dad have lived in Louisiana their entire lives,
It's like
generation after generation.
Like that coach in the Water Boy.
Literally.
Who's like,
Or
Coach O.
James Carvel.
Yeah.
Or Coach O, yeah, from or James. Those are great examples. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. How it's
The
like
Raging Cajun.
you pull something out of there and you're like, wait, so you are speaking my language.
What I like about James Carvel is that this dude's his nickname is the Raging Cajun. If you look at this man, I've never seen a man look less like a Raging Cajun than James Carvel. He's this bald dude with
Like a
glasses.
small earthworm.
He looks like an earthworm.
Makes no sense at all.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have big news to supplement my actual big news.
What's that?
Got a text from Amazon. Congratulations, Boris Lowe. You came first in today's Amazon.
Dude, I came in third.
I got second.
Oh
That's it,
my
though. The contest must be
God.
over. You got
I
first.
won, bro.
I got second. You got third. Don't click
Don't
links
click
in
these
text
links.
messages.
I actually
These are
just
fraudulent links.
While we were recording, I got a one-paragraph text message from my dad telling me, do not, like, he screenshotted my tweet from yesterday, and he said, do not click this link. It is a scam. Thank you so much, Dad. I really appreciate that.
Like you didn't know.
I just
is
wanted
a
to let
scam.
everybody else know since you figured that out and we're the first to figure that out.
I'm going to read two more of these. Prince Harry reveals, say, dia new baby, way fit land during summer, go be a girl.
It sounds
Here's the last bullet point. Meghan reveals, say, she and Prince Harry marry inside a simple ceremony 3 days before dia lavish wedding, way dim do 40 world.
I love this.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
going to say, it sounds way more efficient.
I will only be reading news in Pigeon From now on, I might move to Hawaii. Everything about the English language that is not this, I hate. Understood?
Understood.
Understood. Also, we are no longer a royal family podcast. RBP 378 is brought to you by Felix Gray. There are a lot of blue light glasses on the market, and to lump them all together is like lumping Honda Civics in with Teslas as cars. That makes no sense. Most clear blue light lenses filter 2 to 3% of blue light from screens. Felix Gray, 15 times more. High-quality frame materials make Felix Gray durable, super lightweight, and can be adjusted to fit any face. Felix Gray glasses filter 15 times more blue light from screens than other clear blue light lenses. Their original optical lens relieves the most eye strain symptoms from daily screen time. All of us are obviously addicted to our screens and stuck on our screens and required to be on our screens all day, every day. Zoom calls, working from home, FaceTimes. We're all stuck staring at them just to keep up with our families and do our jobs. It's like legit 10 hours a day for everybody that's sitting in this room currently, and our eyes hurt by the end of the day. And for me, I've been wearing contacts and glasses since I was like 12. I've got terrible allergies in Austin, Texas. By the end of the day, my eyes are beat. They need relief, and that's when I turn to Felix Gray. I have the Nash frames. I have the Faraday frames. I wear them every single day for a couple years now. Love them. They also have more advanced sleep glasses that relieve serious daily eye strain and were specially designed for late-night screen time to improve sleep. Highly curated, timeless styles made from Italian acetate for stylish, durable, lightweight, super comfortable glasses. The industry-leading blue light lenses come standard at $95, or you can add your prescription at checkout starting at $145. Finally, a pair of glasses designed for the 21st century. Join the 250,000 people that report noticeable relief from screen time with their glasses. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/RBP to shop glasses that work as hard as you do. That's FELIXGRAY glasses.com/RBP. Free shipping, free returns, free exchanges, 30-day money-back guarantee. felixgrayglasses.com/RBP. felixgrayglasses.com/RBP. Next segment. Hypothetical of the week. You know we found some hypotheticals last week.
Mm-hmm.
We worked with them. We made some laughs. I thoroughly enjoyed that. There was one that we didn't get to that I wanted to use today to close out the show. A little bit of a little chaser, you know?
Oh,
go out on
really harkening back to your
shot chaser.
Am I?
Friday days.
Am I? This is from, it was on Reddit, as all good things on the internet begin on Reddit, except for this podcast. And here it's from Bicephalous Flame. And here's your hypothetical. Here's your hypothetical. Jared, we'll give you the honor of answering first since you are new here. For 5 minutes, you get transported 30 years into the future. You sit in front of a computer. What information do you look up?
Before you fully answer, I just have a couple baseline questions about the hypothetical. Can you write things down, and can you look up multiple things as long as it's within the 5 minutes?
I don't know. This is all it says.
What do we want to call the rules?
I think you can. You
can certainly write them down because
okay.
let's
but it's
say,
only one thing. It's only one thing.
Okay.
It can't be a bunch. It's supposed to be. I think the idea behind this is what is.
You can look up one thing.
Yeah.
Got you. All right. Fair.
For 5, right? Or what do you think, Ross?
I took it as multiple things within the 5 minutes.
I'm gonna say no. I'm changing it. I'm saying no writing. This is just looking it up, and you have to remember whatever you look up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are gonna be like, I want to look up who wins the World Series.
up the lottery numbers for 2042.
It's gonna be sick. No. Here's the thing. Yes, I'm going to use it to look up stock information.
Sure.
But it's because I'm going to look up stuff around shorts, okay? Nobody cares about the guy who made money because he bought Amazon at a penny and now it's at $1,000. Nobody cares about them. They care about Michael Burry, the dude who is the Big Short. You know, being.
For the record, I want to be the Amazon guy.
No. That's lame.
Okay.
It's so much cooler to be because people think you're like a prophet, right? Because then what happens is this. Yeah, I'd make a ton of money by shorting some company and like doing some crazy shit there, but then I'm going to have a Patreon for stock advice. Everybody's going to be like, dude, this guy he's literally a prophet. He called the collapse of Tootsie Roll Industries back in 2029, man.
Of course.
Everybody thought Tootsie Roll was going to the moon, and he shorted it, and he made a shit ton of money. And so I'm going to subscribe to his Patreon, $5 tier, the $5 give me money tier.
I'm just gonna rephrase here. So you're telling me that if you had 5 minutes to get transported 30 years into the future to sit in front of a computer, you would look up stock prices for the sake of then running a Patreon in the past, selling stonk advice to patrons for $5 each.
Yeah,
that actually sounds like a great idea.
That's the move. Okay.
I'm always marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say team content.
It's an interesting mindset, to be sure. Chris, any idea what you would look up?
The hustle mindset as well, might I add.
It is.
I would definitely, since you can't write things down, because I was gonna say I was gonna do the lottery number thing because that's quick cash. My instant thought is how can I make the most money as quickly as possible as soon as I get back. I think the best way that I can make the most money as quickly as possible with the least amount of money up front is a parlay. One massive fucking parlay. Like a 3-day long, multiple NBA game,
have like a
multiple
bender too in
points
Vegas the whole time.
Yep,
That'd
exactly.
Be so fun.
Multiple like a 50 play
This
parlay.
This is a
That
great
would
idea.
be-
'cause
that would
you,
be
you
the-
would look like a fucking genius from the
How
future.
fun
And I
would
could
that
put-
be?
I could
That's such
put-
a better
That's a
idea.
great
Exactly.
idea. That's a
I
great
could
idea.
put $1 in and probably make $1 million if I do enough teams and I do it the right way.
Oh, for
like I
sure.
think a parlay is the quickest and easiest way to make a lot of money. And then to ensure that I continue to make money, I'm just gonna look up who wins a certain Super Bowl and put a massive future on
Honestly,
it.
So the Back to the Future almanac.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Style.
For your that's a great answer.
The
I don't
parlay
even
is a-
care about
that's
the
a
money.
very fun way to
I don't
go with
care
this.
about the money. I'm thinking about how fun it would be to have all your boys
Oh,
in
yeah.
Vegas.
That's what I'm thinking about.
As you
Fuck the
watch
money.
every single game and it hits, everybody's cheering for you. You get drunk, playing at the tables.
Well, but like the 14th game in, the whole casino
It's gonna
is
be
now
tailing
around
you.
you.
Yeah.
And they're all like,
Oh.
"What the hell? This is the most prophetic thing I've ever seen." You would
And
end
then
up
you
on the news. You'd become famous.
And then you start a Patreon and you have $5 a month.
Damn
Give
it,
me
Jared!
money, give
Why
me
does
money
everything have to go back to
tier.
Patreon? Unbelievable. Definitely no lottery for me because everyone who wins the lottery ends up miserable and very
Or
dead.
dead,
That's
yeah.
a good point.
I don't want anything to do with the lottery. I don't trust the lottery. I think that money might actually be cursed by Ted Cruz before it's shipped out to whoever won it in Texas, and I want nothing to fucking do with that. I like the stonk idea because you could look up like this company's going to go up 400,000% between today and then. Put in $20. Don't worry about shit anymore for the rest of your life. That's awesome. And it's not this lump sum that's going to fucking destroy you. It's coming over the course of many, many years. I love that idea. But I also like the massive parlay idea because sports betting and degeneracy are two of my favorite things. Though that would be the ultimate sports betting experience as the dude in the biggest sports book in Vegas doing a 40-team parlay out of sheer ignorance
Like
and then
$5
having
into
every
it?
single one of them hit
Yeah.
over a several-hour period until literally the casino takes you into a back room and shoots you, and then it would all be over. But you'd have the time of your life for the last several hours.
I can't
there.
imagine if you did it for a whole weekend. Like,
Yeah.
that would be that might be like peak existence.
Yeah.
In
human
all
existence,
honesty, it
peak
probably
human
would
male
be.
existence.
If you could go 3 days without losing a parlay,
Well, you wouldn't lose.
well, of course. But like just to see, I mean, one day,
The shit you could do, bro. I'd be
my
sitting there,
God.
eyes closed, calling plays. Hey, Russell Wilson's gonna throw this 45 yards downfield slant, and then just like cover the eyes and just have people just shitting themselves, losing their minds, heads spinning. Here's the thing I'm looking up though. I want to know which countries are getting destroyed by nuclear war in the next 30 years or whatever, bombed to shit, so that I can avoid them. That's it. I just want to stay alive. I'm
okay.
not
Yeah,
particularly
sure.
interested in
Wow,
getting
all right.
money. I'm not
Well-
particularly interested. I mean, these would all be fun things, but really, my main concern would be like, where do I need to be to not get dead?
Wait, why don't you just look up the Ross Bolen podcast and see where it is in 30 years? You think that would be maybe what you'd want to do, considering you own this company? But
yeah. I saw like
That'd be terrifying,
That's
though.
what
What
I
if
was
it
gonna
says
say.
like we stopped on episode 382 and that's 4 from now, and then we only have 4 to go, and it's like, Jared, what's gonna happen
What
in the
the
next
fuck
2
happened?
weeks before we lose the show?
Jared, why did we hire you?
2 weeks after we hired Jared, the whole fucking thing is gone.
would you rather know when you die or how you die?
Ross, and then
Oh man, that's tough. How? I don't want to know when.
Ross, and then you look up, and miraculously 2 weeks after the Ross Bolen podcast ended, the Jared Borslow podcast started, and you're like, oh, fuck, Jared, fuck you.
Not only, and I'm dead. Jared came in, murdered me, took the show, changed the name, and that's probably what he did with his 5 minutes.
But
he
if it
looked
was
up 30
successful-
years into the future. He found a way to infiltrate and then take over.
Okay, now I'm
Divide
a
and
little
conquer.
scared because Jared brought up the hypothetical of what we would do if you died last week.
It's an important hypothetical. If I get hit by a bus, you got to change the name of the show to like a mix of y'all's names.
I was just thinking we would cold open and be like, so
The Carrot Colaslow podcast.
Jared Coleslaw?
Carrot Colaslow. Somebody make us intern.
Carrot, wait, how about
Intern who's listening, please make us a Carrot Colaslow podcast.
And then what we can do is we can sell merch, and the merch is going to be Carrot Coleslaw's Curry Coleslaw. Could be huge.
it could be huge too. And we could sell those like RIP t-shirts, but with Ross's face on them.
Y'all are crazy.
Like the funeral t-shirts?
R.I.P. RBP. Oh, that's big.
You're crazy, man, but I like you.
Let's just protect Ross. and
All right,
make sure that
PRBP.
we
Yeah,
don't get there
we'll protect you, Ross.
at all costs.
Chris is gonna be a human shield, and
Yep.
I'll use my hands to shield. I'm not gonna use my body.
Me?
But
we
no,
must protect this house.
Ross, yeah.
Sure.
Remember those Under Armour commercials?
They
Those
were
got me
hype, dude.
fucking
Yeah, dude.
fired up, dude.
Dude,
I was like, let's go do
that
sports.
12-year-old was jacked.
There
Why is
is-
that 12-year-old so
yeah,
jacked?
that kid is huge.
What?
Little kids that are jacked make me very uncomfortable. There maybe nothing makes me more uncomfortable than a little kid who's jacked. Like that shit thoroughly freaks me out.
That's
But
very
those
true.
commercials used to get me so stoked to go do sports. There is literally not a thing on this earth that could come on the TV and get me as excited as those "We must protect this house" Under Armour commercials did. I'm pretty sure Cam was in some
He
of those
was,
back
yeah,
in the
because
day.
Cam was. He had the Nike or the Under Armour highlight cleats that were
Yeah.
like his Cam Newton brand cleats. So Bank of America Stadium would play where the Panthers play. It would play. Will you protect this house? I will. I will.
Inside
and
the
then it'd
stadium?
wait for a second, and then it'd go Under Armour.
God,
Whoa!
I hope they got
You
paid
must
for that
protect this
because
house.
that brand sucks.
Yeah.
Everything about Under Armour is awful.
Except that commercial.
No, they sponsor. So we used to have this is funny because we used to have Adidas for Wisconsin.
Oh, I thought this was going to somewhere
No,
You
disc
call it
golf
Adidas?
related. I was about to
Adidas.
freak out.
Adidas.
Adidas.
We have
All day I dream
Adidas
about sports.
was
Hold on, I got to stop you. Did you just say Adidas in a different way?
Adidas.
Adidas?
That's
Is that really how you say it, or
well,
you
the
being a
guy's
fuck?
name is Addy Dassler.
Oh, for the love of God. All right, come on.
I thought it stood for All Day I Dream About Sports.
That's so wrong. I don't know where to start. But
Go.
Okay, Wisconsin had Adidas, and our merch and shit was terrible. And then we got Under Armour, and it got kind of better. But I don't like Under Armour.
What year was this?
2012.
What?
Yeah, we switched to Under Armour in like 2012. Or
Man, y'all were
2013.
probably getting some janky ass Adidas. They were too focused on Yeezy. They
Dude,
didn't
I'm
give a
pretty
fuck
sure
about y'all.
our shit they took Nebraska stuff because it's the same colors and
Yeah.
just sent it to us afterwards.
Yeah, no, that was.
Hey, remember when?
But Under Armour's trash, bro. They had listen. If you go back and look at the sign, they had Jordan Spieth, Steph Curry, Cam Newton, like every. They had so many A-list in every league, and they couldn't put out one goddamn shoe that made me even remotely interested in buying it. And I have 50 pairs of shoes.
No
so.
joke, their best looking shoe was a fucking cleat. Like that was the only shoe that looked decent. Was a
So
cleat.
you're just wearing cleats out in public?
Literally.
Can grab these
Like
football cleats and walk around here.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought about creating some sort of patent to be able to wear cleats normally,
Like a
a
little
slip
pad
on,
you
yeah,
slip
like
on
a
it.
slip-on, slip-off pad.
That's
So
actually
you could just
not
wear
a bad
cleats.
idea.
And like imagine, well, you used to play baseball, right? You had the metal studs. You
Golfers are gonna be all over this
could,
shit,
yeah,
bro.
you could imagine. Okay, so
Coles
have you-
won't be here next week because he's rich now.
Have you guys seen the new Nike shoes that don't require your hands to put on or off?
Yeah,
They,
they've
like,
been
kinda
at
come
that.
aco-
They've
Those
been
like
at
a
that
ski
for a
boot,
while.
yeah.
They've been
Yeah.
trying to do this for a while.
Yeah. So like imagine that, but you just slip your cleat into it and you walk from place to place. Never have to take your cleat off.
The
Look at
first
that.
one I saw was the Mags, the Back to the Future shoes. But then they put out these new ones. That it's like $400, but your shoe will tie its fucking self basically. Like you slip it on your foot, and it's like, and then you're good. Which
It's for
I'm probably in for at some point, frankly.
it's for people with prosthetics that
Sounds
can't
tight.
tie their shoes.
Ross, what would you rather be caught dead in?
Prosthetic hands?
Yeah, like arms, hands, stuff like that.
No shit.
Yeah, that's why they made them.
Would you
Huh.
rather wear the Chef Currys or would you rather wear the Skechers Yeezy knockoffs?
The Chef Currys. Also,
Skechers.
when
makes
we
a
go
Yeezy-
back to that, like the shoe that ties itself concept, no one will ever outdo the Reebok Pump. And
Oh,
why those
God,
haven't
yeah.
resurfaced as like Coles, this is before your time.
I had a pair of pumps. when I was
What?
my,
Fuck, dude.
So my
like,
neighbor.
why those not happening? I don't understand where the pump life is gone because we got to get out of here. That will do it for today's show. But before you head out to take on the world, it's time for some very important announcements. First and foremost, you've been saddled with 3 legal obligations as a result of having listened to this entire podcast. You know what? I'm gonna wipe them. I'm gonna wipe the legal obligations from today and give you one to do today. One. Just go follow both of these guys.
Oh,
Go
thank you.
follow the 2 dudes who work with me. Go follow at what the fuck is Chris? What are your different ones?
You can find me on Instagram at ChrisSC99 and Twitter at Q0ULS.
What about you, Jared?
The official Jared Borislow JBone Twitter account is at Jared Borislow.
Wow, that is fucking shocking. I cannot believe it. But y'all are going to want to go there and check it out because Jared apparently had a big announcement today.
Okay, you need to look at my feed. Apparently, Ross, I've been getting texts while we've been recording, and people are saying that Twitter is abuzz with JBones Big News.
Wow.
A buzz.
A buzz.
That's
Not
huge for
buzzing,
us. That's
but
huge
a
for us.
buzz.
Yeah, a
Wow.
buzz. Twitter is a buzz.
Taking it all the way back to B-Movie.
Oh,
All the way back to
okay.
the beginning of the
Full
podcast
Get outta here now.
circle.
because we're the best. Send us your videos, your photos. Get your feet done. Do your feet.
Do
I'm
'em.
just going to leave it at that.
Just do
At the
your
Ross
feet.
Bolen Podcast on Instagram when you do your feet or get them done, and we want to see your feet getting done or did. Also, Go out and volunteer. The year of the volunteer. Go volunteer. Document it at the Ross Bolen Podcast on Instagram. Tag us in your story. We will put it up on ours. Check out Bolen Media's television and film podcast, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, available wherever you listen to RBP. If you love TV and movies, you will love Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, or OCC, as it is known. That will do it for RBP 378, produced by Mike Moody Garcia of Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. A new era has begun. There was one, then there were two, now there are three. For the record, Jared will not be on every episode of the show. We need people to do things that aren't recording this podcast. Chris and I will continue to be here. Jared will be here probably one episode a week for right now, is what I'm thinking. So you can tune in for the JBone episodes, or if you were like, this was the worst episode ever, I hope Jared dies in a terrible car accident, then I would ask that you unsubscribe and go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. But you can tune in for the non-Jared episodes if you wanted to, but do go fuck yourself. We will be back Friday, but before then, Wednesday. Wednesday is our next episode. I can hear Mike laughing on the other side of the wall. Wednesday. We will be back with our next episode, and we have a special guest this Wednesday, Mr. Jared Freed. I was on his podcast, the J-Train podcast, which you can go listen to. The episode came out today. I'm his guest. We talk relationships. He asked me awkward questions about getting divorced. It was really something. He yelled in my ear a lot. I can't wait to do the episode with him because when you do his show, he screams in your ear, J-Train podcast, J-Train podcast. So I'm going to do that shit to him right back and see what he says. If you want an ad-free third episode of this show every week, you can get that on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast, which I believe I already said. So do not forget, you are not alone. Podmen get paid. Respect Mr. Park. Strength and honor. Gang, gang, gang. And Jared, I'm going to let you do this one. Do you know what we say to end the show?
I know what I say.
So Chris and I are going to say, peace be with you at the same time, and then you're going to say, and also with you. Okay?
I think I can do that.
Chris, on the count of three.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Peace be with you.
And also with you.
That was excellent.
JBone.
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 JBone.